Alright, for whatever reason I thought it would be a good idea to try the Nuka-World DLC despite being like only half the recommended level. As such, my very first attempt to take out the gunners guarding the place is brought to an abrupt end by the Assaultron that they employ. My second try goes much better though, and I managed to get past them. When I first speak to Harvey, I initially decide to let him live, but then I remember that he's basically knowingly sending me to what he assumes would be my death. So I decide to kill him. But then I feel bad, so I reload. And then I accidentally kill him again. And I break my arms in the process. So I reload once more, and at this point I don't really care what happens to him anymore. And I'm off to Nuka-World. I managed to get past the turret room pretty easily, but soon died to a trap in the next section. And then, after reloading, I immediately charge back in and die to another trap. After that, I am much more cautious and actually disarm the traps and check the floors. I take out the turrets in the other turret room before they even have the chance to turn on. And I again show how bad I am at spotting traps and proceed to be blown up multiple times in the area with all the mines. The mirelurks in the area following that aren't too difficult to handle, so I quickly wrap that up. I breeze through the rest of the gauntlet, and soon enough I make it to Coulter. I jet up and take Coulter on, and surprisingly I managed to take him out on my first try. I speak with Gage, who I'm sure is very impressed with their new Overboss.
Hey, I'd love to see the message on his tombstone.
Tell me about it.
Once I get into Nuka-World, I go to the market and purchase the splatter cannon, which will end up proving to be a very good decision later on. However, this uses up a pretty large sum of the caps I had spent last video collecting. After I'm done trading, I head up to Porter Gage and proceed to do the meet and greet with all the faction leaders.
Let's get this meet and greet over with.
You don't get to talk to mags that way.
It's all right, William.
Oh there, boss. Not in front of my guys. Oh.
I managed to get the problem solver from Mason as well.
One last thing before I let you.
Although I don't use it.
If you're ever able.
Once that's done, I for some reason take an interest in this gorilla before heading back to Porter Gage. As I prepare to go out and reclaim the different areas in Nuka-World, I end up miscalculating the height from which to fall and land safely. Then, after successfully getting down from the lift, I make my way towards the Galactic Zone. And I have a little bit of trouble while making my way towards the star control thing, but not too much. And I am then tasked with collecting 20 star cores. I first go to the Robco battle zone. The Novatrons outside catch me off guard on the first try, but I am more prepared the next time. I am quickly brought down by yet another Novatron inside the building, and after that I'm taken out by a Protectron. Once I clear the main floors, I head down to the basement area and am promptly slaughtered several times until I manage to figure out a way to handle the enemies down there. And already the splatter cannon is proving its worth. The tournament thingy, or whatever you want to call it, goes well until the Novatrons come out. They take a couple of tries, but surprisingly enough, the sentry is taken down on my first attempt. I then scrounge around the rest of the building for the remaining star cores before heading out, and getting more star cores. Next, I go to Nuka Galaxy, which goes smooth for the most part. And I make sure to grab the Nuka-Girl rocket suit as well. Of course, I am also collecting the star cores in this building as well. I then take a short break to drop some stuff off and restock on supplies, but am interrupted by some super mutants that decide to attack Sanctuary. Back at Nuka Galaxy again, it goes not too bad. Next, I go in the Vault Tech thing, which goes phenomenal. But I eventually clear out the place and collect the star cores. I get a little confused while trying to find all the star cores, since I forgot that there's a second floor in this place. But I eventually remember and go grab that one. After I'm done there, I have enough star cores to complete the quest, and I assign the operators to this place. I then head over to the Kitty Kingdom and begin making my way through there. I almost regret not bringing some rad-resistant apparel, such as the Nuka-World rocket suit that I had just gotten earlier but stashed away, but I quickly disregard these thoughts and just use Radix instead. The ghouls aren't too difficult to take on, so I am in the first building soon enough. And the first building is done. The missile launchers that are on the other side of that door managed to get me a couple times, but I managed to reach the next building without too much issue after that. Once I'm done with the ghouls that Oswaldo revives, I head up to the roof, where I realize that he might be kind of a pushover, after managing to convince him to leave with just a single dialogue check. Not that I'm complaining though, he gave me a cool new sword and some new apparel, so great. And I assign the pack to this place. After doing some more restocking at some vendors, I head over to the World of Refreshment next. As I tried to loot the little baby Nuka-Lurk things, I kept accidentally drinking the irradiated water, so I just gave up at some point. I'll admit, this area was a bit tough since the Nuka-Lurks are super tanky and can dish out some serious damage. I also get absolutely floored by the Assaultrons in this area as well. But I managed to get through them with enough persistence. Got a nice stock of Nuka-Cola Quantums though. I exit the building and get the Nuka-Lurk Queen to spawn, but I get killed by the kings before I even have a chance against her. So I get to a better position and, after taking out the Nuka-Lurk kings that got me last time, start focusing on the queen. And deal a pretty decent amount of damage thanks to the splatter cannon, and holy shit does she do a lot of damage to me. No matter, with enough heals she goes down. After clearing the inside of the building, I have just one more enemy to kill on the exterior. And boy does he give me some trouble. Anyways, after a few tries, I managed to get him and assign this place to the Disciples. Once that mayhem is over with, I head over to the Safari Adventure and speak with one of my favorite NPCs.
You kill monster alone. Monster strong, but you stronger. Cito happy you kill monster.
I read the letter that Cito has, and as always I feel bad for him. And I of course leave the letter there with him. Anyways, after I listen to the audio thing, I speak with Cito, and then I go to the other building, and then I go back to Cito, and then I head to the giant metal snake to get the passcode for the terminal. On the way back, I run into a gator claw fighting two Brahmin looking things, and one of them just pops on death. No idea what caused such an extreme reaction, since I wasn't even using the spray and pray. But whatever, just thought I should include it. Then I go back and go down to shut off the cloning facility, or whatever it is. Thanks to the splatter cannon, the gator claws aren't too hard to take out. While I'm going around clearing the gator claws, I find one facing off with a Yaogo, and it, just like the Brahmin thing earlier, hops from the splatter cannon. Again, I have no idea what caused it. Anyways, I take out the last gator claw and return to
Your
Sito,
family's safe, Sito.
Cito, so
before assigning this place to the pack. Upon returning to the main area of Nuka-World, I cook so much food that I managed to get enough XP to level up.
I'm not much for conversation.
After that, I make my way towards the last remaining area of Nuka-World left to conquer. Since I was feeling lazy, I just decided to persuade the bot to give me the security code rather than actually do what they wanted me to.
I absolutely guarantee.
Most of the enemies in Dry Rock Gulch are pretty easy to deal with since they're so squishy. The only exception being the crickets, which kept killing me in a single hit. Anyways, I of course just asked for the code from this bot too. And this one.
I already took everyone their orders.
I get bodied by an ant or something while I'm trying to get to the safe. But after dealing with them, I grab the key and go to the mine. The spray and pray kind of makes this part a cakewalk. Once that's done, I head to Sheriff Eagle at the front of the park and collect my reward before assigning the operators to this place.
While we're
After returning to Porter Gage, I am instructed to speak with Shank.
I'm ready.
Good.
So I return to the Commonwealth and begin making my way towards the settlement of choice. I end up running into Pyro along the way, who ends up killing me, so I make sure to get revenge. And after all of the violence and carnage that Help I'm Scared Oh No had gone through, he had a sudden epiphany. Instead of just outright slaughtering these settlers like he might have done in the past, he decided to convince them to leave with his words.
Look, I'm trying to help you here. You need to go. Now.
Oh, that's how it's gonna... Fine, take it. Place is all yours.
Which apparently Preston didn't appreciate very much. Anyways, I head back to Shank and he tells me to get another settlement to supply us, which I of course agree to. And after kindly asking the settlers to supply us, they complied.
Listen, you're gonna start working for me now, alright? Just keep the supplies coming and we won't have any problems.
Fine, if it'll get you off my back. Now please, get the hell out of here.
Wow, who knew that violence was so unnecessary? Anyways, I go back to Shank, who tells me about some tension between my outpost and some local raiders. Upon returning to the outpost, I find that the guys are there just standing in probably irradiated water. How curious. Disregarding that, I speak with them, and soon enough the rival group shows up for our playdate. And once more, through the power of kindness, compassion, and absolutely no aggression or malice whatsoever, I managed to talk them down.
Closely. This land is ours. So turn around and crawl back under whatever rock you came from. Right now.
Whoa, easy. Take it easy, alright? Sure, just, keep it. Place was a shithole anyway.
I speak with Shank again, who informs me that 97% of making the outpost happy is not enough. And so I go back out to make some random stuff for them until the raiders there are satisfied. And then I heard something that brought me much excitement.
Boss! Someone's coming through the gauntlet. Go see Fritch. He'll tell you what to do.
So I head over to Fritch, or however you pronounce his name, who tells me that I should go fight the person, and despite the kindness that Help I'm Scared Oh No had just learned, He was more than happy to oblige. The fight was very quick. I spent a bit of time sleeping in hopes that the immoral combat might trigger again, since there was a specific guy I wanted to fight, but it didn't. So I quickly gave up. After fast traveling back to the Commonwealth, I am immediately immolated by some Enclave soldiers who ambushed me. So after going back there, I quickly pop a jet, since I know what to expect this time, and just spray them with the splatter cannon. Unfortunately, this results in me becoming addicted to Jet. So I go to Sanctuary and get it cured from the doctor there. Then I do some trading to restock on ammo, supplies, and just to have more caps overall. I then decide that it would be a good idea to spend some time at the arcade. I start with the Atomic Rollers game, playing exactly as intended, of course, until I realize that I can just rapidly bounce the basketballs in and out of the hoops at the basketball game, and get even more tickets that way. And the highest score I end up with is either 16,100 or 16,500, not sure which. Anyways, that seems like an alright spot to end, so yeah, that's it.